Goodness me. Wow, if that ever wasn't a professional intro and stuff. Hi, g'day you mob. What's going on? This is, I know, right? Crikey, we've got a little bit of the chatter going on. Yes. First cab off the rank in the chat today. Everyone should know the drill by now. Big bucket of kudos in the post to US. I must start getting people's feedback on what they do with their big bucket of kudos. It'll be interesting to find out what one does with a big bucket of kudos. Anyway, that's beside the point. Fish Tropic, El Tropico. probably already gone. Mriddle Singh, how are you, Mriddle? Joel G, g'day, mate. Mary Page, how are you? Lurk away, love. Lurk away. C23, you to you too, brother. Yeah, I was just about to start before, and I just had immense amounts of fluids wanted to come out of my nose. So hopefully I don't get another repeat of that. And bit of footy talk amongst the fellas. Yes, I did do that. Good. I did some stuff that I failed to do before the stream, so there's a couple of extra things I won't have to do. I can concentrate on you wonderful people. GRB, g'day, mate. How are you? Moderator extraordinaire. Or something. We'll work out a decent title for GRB, but he's certainly got the... Oh, there we go. Proves my point. Already chucking the links out there. Nice one, GRB. Love your work, pal. Tampa Tom, how's it going? Big D, g'day, mate. Dragon Lair. Hey, yo! Back at ya. Probably didn't say it as good as you southern folk do. But, you know, time will tell. Oh, yay! Yay for massive big chat jumps. Crikey. I hope I haven't missed anyone, as the usual thing. John McKenzie, g'day, John. How are you? Peplin Creek. How are you, Pep? Yeah, I thought I'd... It was only an afterthought too, just before I went live. I was just going to do the little short one with the animation and stuff, and I decided to put the long one in the front, which was very good because the snot thing happened, which still does seem to be happening a bit. So we'll get some different impolite noises on the stream today other than just burps. I haven't even burped once yet because I'm drinking goon and soda. Such loveliness. But yeah, lucky I put the long one on because it gave me time to go and evacuate my sinuses and my nostrils and stuff. Kudos got fed to Cujo. I've heard a story that Stephen King can't even remember writing that book. I don't know how accurate the story is. You know, I wonder if someone should start a bank called Kudos the Bank. Nice one, Dragon Lair. I can remember a friend of mine had a similar experience with buying like little dome tents off the eBay. They ordered one dome tent and received quite rapidly by eBay standards. I'm going back maybe 10 or 12 years now. Maybe not that long, but it was a fair while ago. And they received a box containing 4 of the particular tent, of which they only paid for 1. And so they repeated the purchase, and the same thing happened a second time. So 8 tents for the price of 2. Always a good bonus when people can't read the packaging description on a carton. But, you know, I think they felt that they'd got enough value for money out of their tents, so they didn't try for a third time around. T-Bones, how are you, mate? But yeah, oh, that's a good idea, Myrtle. Yeah, give away some heaters on your thing. Oh no, chat just did a mega jump again. All right, there we are. I just said g'day to T-Bone. Did I see Brendan Rumble? G'day, Breno. Rumble's Fish Room, if you don't know, ladies and gentlemen. Great Australian YouTube channel. Funny lad. They often say when big people lose their weight, they don't maintain the same personality, but Breno's still a funny boy. And yeah, keep up the good work, Breno. Love your YouTubes and stuff. Why isn't my mouse working? Tried to deposit his kudos, but the manager wasn't having it. Yeah, I'm all right, thanks, T-Bone. I'm pretty good. I had a similar score with heaters not long ago. I didn't buy them, though. A friend of mine works at a university in Brisbane, and apparently whatever department this particular university thing, g'day Rockford, how's it going? Apparently whatever science experiments they were doing were no longer being done on rodents and whatnot. Apparently stuff was going to be done on fish, so they'd gone through all of their fish supplies and decided they needed to spend money on getting new stuff, so they were throwing all of this old gear away. And my mate Sombra, some of you may know Sombra from the chat, sent me down a bunch of heaters. There was about 8 or 10 heaters and a few little water circulators, pumps, whatever you want to call them. G'day Derek, how are you, mate? So yeah, it was in a lovely little box full of goodies to receive. So yeah, it's good when you get stuff for free, and lots of the stuff that I got, well, the little pumps had definitely been used, but the heaters, I think all bar one of them were still brand new in the box, having never had the cord even unraveled. So, money well spent by the Australian university system or education system. Most Americans call them college, but we call them university over here. Same thing. It's exactly the same thing, except less frat parties, because I don't think the Australian universities do frat stuff. Or sororities. Sororities one day, probably. We do tend to imitate a lot of the Americanized things. I'm going to do this one away from the microphone. No doubt it still picked it up, though. Decent microphone and all. Oh, yeah, speaking of T-shirts as well, I think it was after last week's stream, maybe, someone bought a T-shirt off... pardon me, there's off Scunch Princess's threadless shop, which was very good. I'm assuming it was after the heavy promotion on the live stream. Joel G, okay, I'm here now. Pause YouTube. You're a cryptic lad, Mr. Gillett. Cryptic indeed. Dragonlair bought a bunch of heaters. Yeah, right. It was... You've got heater fate, destiny, whatever you want to call it. That's what POS means. I thought it meant point of sale. Yeah, how odd. Good old F5. How bizarre too that early in one of my live streams, and we're already talking about fish stuff. That's very, very, very weird. Also, I bought a like this fancy looking webcam thing, thinking that get a webcam that can do 1080p. My streams might look a little bit better. And then I find out that it wasn't the cam limiting me, it's StreamYard limiting me. You can't do 1080p on StreamYard unless you pay for StreamYard, and StreamYard's not cheap. It's like $25 a month or something like that. And that might not even be Australian dollars, so it'd probably end up costing me about $32 a month just to do 1080p. But having found that out, for shits and giggles, I decided to take StreamYard's valiant offer of 7 days free trial of being able to do 1080p. So this will be, I mean, I don't see it looking any better myself. Maybe if I click over there and have a look, it just looks like the same nonsense to me. So, you know, I have one stream that's supposedly 1080p, but yeah, I shall definitely have to look into oh, that's my quality. Look into sorting out OBS or something that will let me stream in the bigger. I know I even put bloody YouTube onto 1080p and it still looks nonsense. Oh well. We'll just deal with it and waste my free 7 days of 1080p. I've had a few dodgy experiences with heaters, but none have done that fabulous thing where they where the thermostat fails or something and the water just keeps on getting hotter and hotter and hotter and hotter and hotter. Actually, the only problem I've had with heaters is not having electricity sealed in. So yeah, getting zapped by your aquarium water or the bathtub water, as I did a video on not long back about my bathtub pond electrocuting me. Well, it didn't electrocuted me. It just shocked me. Zapped me. Oh, hang on. Pardon me. Nice one, GRB. Thank you for those links. Doing legendary stuff. What else has been going on? Looks like I may have trimmed my moustache wrong. I've got one side longer than the other. Yeah, those I think if I'd ever had a situation where a heater had boiled my fish tank and killed my fish, I'd probably be using Inkbird controllers on all of the tanks. Some people do say it's hard to get them to balance perfectly, but you know, you don't really need perfection. Anywhere within a couple of degrees is probably close enough. But yeah, definitely a handy fail-safe device. Oh no, GRB. Who do they share the tank with? Or does she escort them around the tank and the male picks them off? Something like that. Oh, there you go. Good eye, Rumble. There's a one vouch for Inkbirds being okay. Looks like my burp made 3 people leave. Soft, delicate little flowers. My remaining baby Feste is like just the Riv pair. So, are they a young couple or have they been breeding for a while? GRB. Most cichlids get better with parenting as they age and experience the wonders of parenthood. G'day, Redbeard. How's it going? Chattanooga Ed in the house. Wait on, I've got one for this. Do I? I thought I did. Now I can't find it. Yeah. Gone. Gone forever. Did I lose my train of thought again? Maybe. That happens a lot. I lost my elbow, I know. I think I've got, what's it called? Bursitis back in my elbow. My left elbow and my left knee are giving me grief. Lucky I don't use them too much. Any... Oh, yeah, right. So she's not really going to be able to fend him off if he does have a penchant for eating babies. Yes, that size difference can make a hell of a difference. Yeah, I'm a specialist at using the same word multiple times in a sentence. Well, I was going to ask about people from the southeast of the US, but I will get back to that. But I just don't want to leave people sitting backstage for too long while I rabbit on with nonsense. So here we go. Let's welcome this guy.
What's up, brother? What are you doing? Oh my god, I got the applause. I got the strong round of applause. What's up, my guy? What's going on? Oh, it's so much applause.
Me and my super technical sound effects.
It's strong.
It goes on forever, that one. I should find a shorter one.
It might be an idea.
People will get bored of you coming on to 4.5 minutes of applause every week. Oh, yeah, what's going on with you? You're all freezy and stuff.
What's going on? Am I freezy?
Or is that just me? Oh, g'day, Vinoxky. How's it going?
Hold on a second. Am I weird? Am I not coming through well? Hold on.
I wonder, is it just me?
I don't know.
Yeah, you're freezing I get about a second of video out of you and then you freeze. But
how's that?
Middle says audio and video is good. Joel's good. Doctor is laggy. I bet you that's because I'm doing that bloody 1080p nonsense.
1080p. Oh,
I wonder, can I change that midstream and back myself back down? I'll try dropping myself back down to 720. Oh
yeah, that smoothed it out.
That. Did that work?
I think I rubbed my nose.
Shit.
Got boogers. What's happening, my man? What's going on?
So I changed my camera one, but now I can't change my broadcast resolution.
Oh. Is that no good?
Well, stuff. Now I'm concerned. But maybe if I push the refresh button, do I lose you and everyone else?
I don't know. Maybe. I mean, I dumped the whole stream the other day, and then I just came back in. So I don't know. We should give it a try. Why not? Hey, everybody.
Oh, I'm going to press refresh, and
He's going to refresh.
Fingers crossed that sorts me out.
Yeah. I'm actually just holding really still. I'm not frozen. You might think I was frozen, which would be. I believe that's we'd get a copyright strike because that's a Disney property. If I claim to be frozen, but I got to tell y'all, I'm not. I'm not from Disney. I'm from outer spaceman. I'm straight up from outer spaceman. That's what I do. I come from back around the other side of the other planet, out there in outer space. And that's all right. That's okay. I hope everybody's feeling my vibes today. Posted a video about cleaning with tubes. And I feel like cleaning with tubes is tubular. It's something that an outer spaceman would do. I would clean with tubes. Oh my God, Dr. Black is back, and now he's skipping. Oh, there you go. Now you're smooth. Now you look smooth, dude.
Gosh darn it.
What happened?
Yeah, I'm here, but you're still coming through just stuttery to me. You freeze, I get a little bit of audio, then a little bit of movement.
Let me pop out. I'll come back in.
Quite an interesting screen on my screen at the moment.
I'm going to leave and I'm going to...
What? Righto. Let's try that. Fingers crossed. Yeah, sorry, people. G'day, Adkins. Mr. Ian. How's it going? Yeah, sorry. I don't know whether it's my internet being a dick. But yeah, I've got g'day Rico Stan. Thanks, mate. Good to see you. Yeah, it might be. I don't know if it's coming through on the YouTubes properly, but with Corvus, I'm just getting freezing and jittery audio. But let's try this again. I won't do the applause this time. Oh, that seems to be. Yeah, seems to be. Oh, damn it! I cursed it by saying it seems to be so much better than it froze.
Oh, is it bad, but then it's good, but then it's bad again? Is it good and then bad? I don't know. What do we got going on here? What's up, internet? What are you doing?
Yeah, no, I'm just getting freezing.
Am I just freezing over and over again?
I wonder.
Hello.
What's that?
My name is Inigo Montoya. I am looking for the six-fingered man.
If you stay, you stay and host my show, I will try restarting my computer and see if that fixes anything. I'm really sorry for this, everyone, and Corvus. But it seems that it's purely busted on my end. And, you know,
all right, man, I'm into
restart
it,
might be my only solution.
Will it work? Will it stay going? I don't know. Give it a try. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens.
It'll stay running. You'll just be the only one in there. All right, let's try this. I'll be back. Sorry for the inconvenience and the complete lack of professionalism, ladies and gentlemen.
What? It's a reality we all have to deal with. Sometimes the internet is a feisty vixen to be only tamed by the most unsavory, unwashed characters you've ever seen. And that would be myself and Blacky himself, Dr. Black, all the way from Australia, connecting with me out here in the US of A. As I mentioned, I'm unwashed from a long day of building fish room. Not my fish room, a jobby job that I work at building stuff. I got drywall in my eyes, and that's pretty much the extent of it. I got drywall in my eyes, and I'm recovering from not the coronavirus, by the way. I got somebody's cold, and I would blame it on my daughter because that's the most likely character. And it's luckily my test came back negative, so I'm not. I do not have the pandemic, but I do have a cold, and I'm recovering from that cold. Today was my first day back. Pretty much symptom free, except this little bit of a cough. So things are going pretty good. People heard me yesterday. Didn't sound that great. I had a little congestion going on. I still have a little bit of that, but that's pretty much it. But I don't feel sick or any of that kind of stuff. So pretty good. Things are okay. I do have a little bit still like lingering up there, but nothing, like I can breathe good. I don't have like the having to breathe out of my mouth sleeping thing. I don't know if anybody out there has ever experienced that before. I'm sure you have. That sucks. I hate that. I hate having the dry mouth, sleeping with your mouth open thing. That just it gets me every time, and it hurts my will to live, and it makes me not really want to work on my fish tanks. Makes me not want to work on my fish tanks because I just want to lay on the ground and be sad, and that's not good. It's not a good. It's not a. It's not a good feeling, and I don't think it's a good feeling, and I don't think anybody out there would tell me that it was a good feeling. If you did, I wouldn't trust you. I'd get the vibe that you were lying to me. GRB says, yes, baby green terrors in 2 large groups. Dad is trying to get at them, but little mom is keeping him away. Well, with the green terrors, I don't know. I mean, if you're like trying to keep the babies, it feels like take the parents out and let the babies grow out. Or, considering we are broadcasting to Australia, maybe you just go Thunderdome, You just go 2 green terrors enter, 1 terror leaves. And then you do also have to play what is that? What's that Whitney Houston song? I think she did like multiple songs in that Mad Max Beyond the Thunderdome. What did he get sentenced to? I think he got sentenced to the gulag, right? Which was they put him backwards on a donkey. The donkey had a cup of water out on a stick, so it kept walking into the desert. And then he had like an old drive-through. Did I say Whitney Houston? Oh, Tina Turner. Yeah, that's correct. Gosh, I get them confused sometimes. But that's a good point. That's a good point. It was Tina Turner, not Whitney Houston. 2 very different people. But a lot of their songs just blend into my mind from the 80s, and 90s. Anyhow, back to what's most important. I'm wondering what that drive-through, like, it was like a character from a drive-through that you would drive up in your car and you would order cheeseburgers from, I'm trying to wonder what that was that they put on him so that he couldn't see where he was going. They used that as a blinder, so to speak, so that the main character, we assume his name is Max, right? Take that callous assumption that His name is Max. Couldn't see where they were going. It ended up with the Lord of the Flies kids out there on an old airplane, which is weird. It's a weird thing. Oh, it says that we're not live anymore. Are we not live? Let's see. Let's see if we're live. Am I live on the internet right now? Oh my God, I am. That's me coughing. Look at that. Abysmal. Oh, we got a dislike. We got a dislike. Nice. I'm going to hit dislike. Now we have 2. Now we have 2 dislikes. Crushing it. Crushing the dislikes. Bringing it in strong. If you didn't hit like, hit it 3 times, because you're an adult and you know how to hit click buttons. Let's see. Okay. It said over here that I was no longer live. And I was like, what happened here? This is weird. What was it? Oh yeah, Mickey M with the we don't need another hero. Yeah, that's right. I wish I could listen to that song right now. I wish we could play that song, but we'll get a copyright strike. We'll get in trouble because some record label owns that, and the algorithm trolls around and will find copywritten material like that and then strike on a channel. Yeah. What's Dr. Black doing? Is he coming back? How long does it take to reboot his old computer? I mean, I know that he's probably got to he's got to go out and then he's got to catch the snake out of the tree. And he's going to battle with a koala and a kangaroo. And then he's got to get the kangaroo to chase a mouse onto a wheel that spins around and will fire up his computer. That's what he powers his computer with. Mickey says, will they ban you for singing it too? That I don't know. I think if you get too many notes correct, they will ban. Well, they won't ban you, but you get a copyright strike. You get a copyright strike, and then you get in trouble. You don't want to get a bunch of those. It's one thing to get revenue sharing strike. That's not a big deal because you could just battle that. You can be like, hey, fine, I'll share revenue with you, robot. And then they're like, okay, all right, we could share. Chattanooga Ed is wondering, what did I have for lunch today? I had a grilled cheese, believe it or not. Normally I have noodles. I have ramen noodles. But I had a relative in the area that made me a grilled cheese sandwich with tomato soup.
Grilled cheese and tomato soup. What a combo.
Tomato. Swiss cheese.
Yeah. Well, even that lengthy process of restart seems to have fixed things. Thank goodness.
There you go. Yeah, it seems like it's working.
Yeah,
the hell was
much
that
better.
all about?
Because I've had my computer on for quite a while this morning, trying to fiddle around with this new webcam, and then I was watching some Rogan on Spotify and watching some other YouTube stuff, and I had all these tabs going and stuff. So I think the
you can't
vintage
watch Rogan on Spotify. That's just gross.
Oh, look, I'm adaptable to change, and it was Bill Burr, so he's one of my favorites.
Yeah, but you can still listen to Bill Burr's podcast. You don't have to download a different app and pay for it.
Yeah, I'm a firm, solid listener to Bill Burr.
I hear my spouse and my baby. I think you might get a baby interaction here. She might come drop the F-bomb again.
Yes, I know that's everyone's personal favorite.
Up. You want to say hi to Australia? Do you know what Australia is?
Hi there. Or is that like those candy bracelets? That's what you want just before going to bed. Candy bracelets.
They're not candy.
They're not real.
Don't eat them.
Can you say hi? Can you sing the banana song? Say subscribe.
Yeah.
You say, Dr. Black needs 1,000 subscribers.
Yes.
Yeah. That's you.
I think she's paraphrasing.
Yeah.
Olivia.
Nope.
Olivia, can you say subscribe?
Subscribe.
There we go.
There you go. Okay.
Good job, Bear. High five.
Give Daddy high five.
2. Oh, thank
right.
you. That's awesome. You got. How'd you get all that jewelry? What
I
happened?
know, right?
The jewels.
They rob a store.
Yeah, it looks like she robbed the bank and the store. Lordy, lordy.
Aquamate. Best guest yet. Yeah, Olivia's appearances always go down a treat, don't they?
She's pretty much the best guest. Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much.
She's a showstopper.
She is. Yeah,
And,
she can't be trusted. She can't be trusted.
I have to chuck out a couple more hellos that I missed while I was having technical issues. So, hello, Mickham, Terry's Tropical Tanks, or is it Topical Tranks?
Topical tranks. You get a dart in your neck.
And it's newsworthy. It's a topical trank.
It's topical. I like it.
And Streety, how are you, Streety? Good to see you again. Yeah, big apologies for the technical difficulties, and always good to have Olivia chewing on that licorice flavored ice cream.
Yeah, she bites this thing, man. I tell you, it's all wet now. It's gross.
Yeah,
If
I
it was any other person, I'd be super pissed. But what are you gonna do? You just have to buy a $5 mic cover, whatever.
Yeah, I gave up using those things in the old recording studio days because, too many people have a habit of really chewing on their microphones, and those things get so stinky. I mean, a microphone without one.
Nobody else uses this mic, so you know.
Yeah,
and I have a spare somewhere. I don't know where. Like the SM7B, you get another one with it in the box. Well, at least you used to. I don't know if you do now, but they like send you another one. You get 2.
Just the windsock thing, or an extra microphone.
They give you another base, a bottom, and an extra windscreen foam. But I am, it's been a while, so maybe they've cut back.
No, it's always good to offer free stuff to get people in the door, isn't it?
Well, I think it's just included because the damn mic's like $500.
Yeah, right. Little bit of foam won't hurt the budget.
Yeah, it doesn't put it over the top, you know.
Anyway, so before I did notice whilst I was out, since I had the YouTube running on a separate device, that Dragonlair was keen to know what I was going to be talking about regarding the Southeast United States of America. So I can only assume the Dragonlair must live in that region. But I was reading an article on tegus, a South American lizard, popular as a pet.
Yep.
And apparently they're quite prolific in the southeast US, spreading out and causing problems for native animals and stuff. Are you familiar with this?
Well, yeah. Everything in the South is a disaster environmentally. I'm not even kidding you. Like, you go to Florida, you can just dip net and catch South American fish, Asian fish, African fish, like European fish, all in the Florida River. Like, you just start going around, dunking around, and coming up with guppies and live bearers and cichlids from all around the world. There's lizards all over the place that aren't supposed to be there. Like, I think the python snakes are like they're not even supposed to be there, basically, or the anacondas or the pythons.
Yeah.
I can't even remember which ones are supposed to be there. Like
Burmese python shouldn't be there.
they're just taking over, and the plants are screwed up. There's areas down there where plecos, plecostomus, like just the standard plecostomus, have taken over the whole entire lakes and rivers and stuff because people just throw this stuff out down there, and it's just ruined. Like so yeah, I mean, there's all sorts of stuff that's out that's not supposed to be there.
Yeah, I saw a picture the other day of this lake's edge, and it was just hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of common plecos just all lined up at the side of this lake.
Yeah, and they're not even supposed to be there, you know. And the tegus, yeah, like it's the whole environment down there is screwed. Just essentially from, some of it's on purpose and some of it's on accident, but like the what a lot of people like to explain it is that, well, there's hurricanes, and then the hurricanes blow in and then they blow the zoo over, and like, what are you supposed to do? And it's like, I don't know, don't keep animals that will survive outside the zoo where hurricanes come through and ruin your zoo. I don't know, maybe that's important to you. Maybe it's not. I don't know. But when the environment collapses because you have all sorts of invasive creatures all over the place, like, don't come crying to me. But like, they're even at the point now where like raccoons are gone because they're being eaten by like these giant snakes. And it's like, it's not like there's supposed to be a ton of raccoons or anything like that, but they're like, there are none now, which could be an issue.
You'd still expect a raccoon to be a fairly dominant animal
they're fairly prolific, but it's not, so it's just stuff like that where it's just like Terry says, it's not like they're throwing them out. Florida has the most exotic pet farms anywhere, fish, cats, and reptiles. Texas is the same way. Like, Texas has all these big cats that aren't supposed to be there, and I'm not saying that, I'm not saying that Washington is like where I live in the Northwest doesn't do crap like that. But, if a crocodile gets out up here, it's probably not going to make it, I'm just saying.
It does. It's always surprised me, all of the different fish farms and whatnot that you see around Florida. They're all just basically a series of holes in the ground.
Yep.
So as soon as that water goes up, there's nothing to stop things just going over the edge and going elsewhere,
Right.
What about 2 foot of bird wire around your ponds or something like that?
Well, the problem is that like that doesn't necessarily even work, and I forget the exact country, but there's a great documentary on the self-replicating crawfish, right? They took it over to Africa and they supposedly were breeding it in these closed areas, right? These closed off lakes and things. And of course they got out, and then now they're going up streams and just decimating areas. And Dragon Lair says alligators can live up there. Like, they can't. They can't live up here. It gets freezing out. Like, the lakes get freezing. They just can't make it up here. I
think they didn't take into consideration the fact that crayfish are very adept climbers, and they'll get up and out of anything if you're not prepared for that.
Well, especially like when they're small. Like, it's difficult to keep things netted in when they're tiny, Yeah. Because the net gets clogged. So then you put a bigger, what do you call it? Like a wider gauge net. And then more things go through because you're trying to not let it get clogged. I understand, like, it's humans being humans, but at like like at what point is somebody responsible for irresponsible behavior? That's really like, I think that's the reality of like, well, like when does somebody become responsible? It's hard to say. So, once they're out, and there's just really no going back, so.
G'day, Eshe clan. Are you Australian, Eshe clan? We have I don't know what you call it, a social element in Australia called Eshes.
Eshe.
Yeah, I'm not sure if you have them in America. You call them probably something different, but very specific clothing styles, hairdos, all that kind of stuff. I can't quite work out your avatar, Eshe. But yeah, I'm wondering if Eshe clan is an Eshe. I'm assuming so with a name like that. But yeah, I'm trying to see.
Popular term for teenagers. An Eshe dresses up in all Nike or Adidas. They're around the age bracket of between 10 to 15 who will usually smoke tobacco and weed. Their life goals include going to jail because they think it's cool. Eshe or lad is an Australian criminal youth subculture. It originated from inner Sydney's graffiti scene in the 1980s with established familiar uniform of Ralph Lauren, Nike Air Max, blah, blah, blah. Okay, yeah, I get it. Okay, is the equivalent British of chav. Right, okay. You're like a lad. Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
What do they call them in the States? Andy plays, right, yes. Now I remember the name, Andy.
What would you call them in the States?
Yeah,
well, if you're talking about like graph kids or whatever, so like for graffiti, like when I say graph, like people that paint on walls, right? There's multiple cultures in the U.S. groups of people that do graffiti, right? So there's your typical like kind of gang behavior, I guess you might want to call it, but gangs aren't really gangs, you know what I mean? It's like they call them gangs on the news because they have to like have an identifier, but there's really not. I mean, I guess there are gangs by that measure, but like, so I guess you would say more like city gang kids or whatever that are just sort of affiliated with crime. They're typically just like tagging. They're generally like leaving a marking just to kind of like let people know specific things, which like either like this is my street, this is my block, this is my area, or it gets even more complicated with like, I got beef with this guy, I got a problem with that guy, or the cops are doing undercover stuff here, blah blah blah. Then of course there's the actual writers, who those guys will normally do like a specific piece that's like somebody's name, but it's like way more detailed, right? Which is considered like bombing, right? This is what they call it, because you basically have to show up. You have to throw it up in like maybe an hour, but you got to be ready. That's why they call it bombing, because you basically bomb in, you bomb out, right? Then you have the sort of skate kids that like to paint stuff. They kind of do more mural-y stuff, right? But they're all gangsters. Like, I mean, in the way that they all have a clique and they all do a bunch of stuff that you're not supposed to be doing. I mean, it's all minor crimes, nothing too big of a deal. But like in Washington State where I live, it's like I always have to remind people that I do live in the Wild West, right? Like in Washington State is a right to combat state, right? So
What's
if
that
you
mean?
if you and I agree that we're going to be in a fight, there's no criminal charges of us fighting. Like, now, if I knock you out, then I'm not allowed to hit you anymore. That's basically the only rule. You can't attack somebody who can't defend themselves. But it's a right to combat state. So if you get in a fight with somebody and the cops show up and they're like, "We're going to arrest everybody," and be like, "No, you're not," because they're like, "Well, you can't be fighting." It's like, yeah, we can.
Yeah, we
Oh,
agreed
well,
and we sorted it out.
I guess you can be fighting then, right? So it's like, it's one of those weird things. And so it's like, whenever it came down to crimes, like they were always trying to find like weed or paraphernalia or any of that kind of stuff. Like that's pretty much what the police are trying to enforce on those groups, is just like, well, how do I just keep hitting you with like these minor infractions? I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, Dragonlair, tell us about your tegus. Because, I did see that you said earlier that was a little bit blown up. But I guess, at the early stages of these infestations, it probably pays to have a little bit of excessive hype and whatnot. So, yeah, please do. And, yeah, I mean, there's plenty of Eshays around. And I've seen lots of them trying to look tough. But I've never really considered them an affront to my existence. I just think they look very pretty when they're all dressed up so nice and they have their hair done so lovely.
Well, it's good. It's good when anybody's dressed up nice. I like that. You don't want to be wearing the rubbish.
Yeah, and like most of those little cliques and things, it's all about your strength in numbers, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty much.
That's why
that's pretty much how it works for any teenage group, though. You could play in the band, and all the band kids hang out together because it's like, well, if there's 10 of us, chances are they're probably not going to mess with you. And you guys don't have football teams like American football teams. You have football teams where there's like maybe 15 of them.
Generally, let's say we'll take rugby league, for example. You'll have your 13 on-field players and 4 reserves. So you're not talking about massive numbers of humans. Lots of them are still dickheads, though.
Yeah, I played soccer growing up, and there's just not that many guys as compared to the football team, because the football team is like 100 dudes.
Yeah,
they could round up a whole bunch of them.
Yeah, that just still strikes me as so wild how many dudes it takes to form one side for a game.
It's a lot. It's very organized.
Yeah, and all the support stuff and stuff, all the staff and stuff.
Just a matter, you gotta have water boys, towel boys.
Yeah. Terry, are you referring to the movie Red Dog? Fantastic Australian film. I believe it was based on a real thing. What do they say? Based on a true story.
Oh, Red Dog?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Red Dog was based on a true story.
I can't think of what that is. I don't know that movie. Maybe I do. I don't know. I'm gonna look it up.
It's quite a good film. It's been a long time since I've seen it. It's probably a good 10 or so years old, and I think I've only seen it the one time. Yeah, good old one of those feely movies that gets you on the heartstrings and all that.
Why does it say there's one? Is there a Red Dog 2?
Oh, maybe. I've not seen it, but it's such a beautiful dog.
Oh, maybe they just like remade it like a bunch of jerks. Oh God, what that? Oh man, I got hit by Rotten Tomatoes. Get out of here. Red Dog 2011. Okay, it says it came out in 2011.
So it wasn't too far off.
Who's that? Oh, Josh Lucas? Okay. That's why I recognize that guy.
Yeah, there you go.
Right, I'll check it out. It's about a dog and it's going to make me sad, right? Probably.
Yeah. But like GRB says, Red Dog has a statue.
Oh, really? Yeah, I see
Yeah.
you guys have a giant. You guys have a giant lobster statue.
That's not far away from me.
Is it?
Yeah,
I
it's
might
a-
have
well,
been
it's a-
down there.
It's a prawn, not a lobster, a big prawn.
Is it a
there
big prawn?
Yeah,
Huh.
and it's the funny thing I find about it is that it's cooked.
Well,
It's
yeah,
in
it's
its
all
cooked
red.
coloring. Funny story about that guy was that it used to be like it was just at a servo, a gas station, a roadhouse, whatever you want to call it, big petrol station. It was like
Right.
just a big identifier that was on a big post in the front of the servo, and then that site was being developed and being turned into a Bunnings, which is like a Home Depot.
Oh, all right.
What are your big hardware stores sort of thing.
Right. So we could go there and
and
get
that
some
was-
lumber. We could
Yeah,
get some
all of those
lumber,
things.
some nails,
They
a couple of nice looking hammers.
Ooh, I like
We're
nice
gonna get weird at the hardware store.
Wow, I've got the shiniest Australian raven out in the paddock at the moment. He is
Ooh.
super shiny.
Nice.
But yeah, there was a lot of kerfuffle because they were just going to pull it down and get rid of it. And there was all of this support from all around the country saying, no, you can't do that. That thing's an Australian icon. People know it all over the country and all around the world. So they didn't end up turfing it, and they ended up re-erecting it in basically the same place on a new stand and stuff in the front of the Bunnings store.
Huh.
They saved
I'm
it, and yeah, it's only half an hour drive from me.
All right. Okay, so let me look this up and make sure it's the right one. So we
Yeah,
got
right.
Bunnings. What do you call it? The Bunnings.
It's just called the Big Prawn. The Big Prawn.
Big prawn Bunnings. I'm wondering if it's the same one because I want to see an image and just say see if it's the one that was shown. No,
Well,
this
it
is
does-
the one that was shown to me. Okay, this is
Yeah,
a
right.
different one. This
I
is
was gonna
definitely
say-
a prawn. This is a prawn,
yeah,
100%.
It did strike me as odd that you would call a prawn a lobster.
Yeah. Okay, here is the lobster. Okay, I found the image of the lobster. I don't know what the... Okay, hold on. I'm going to try and get some more information here. The big lobster, also known as Larry the Lobster, in Kingston, Southeast, South Australia. I wonder if I can... well, I could save the image. Oh, hold on. I know how to do this. Okay, save image. Oh, crap. Where did I save it to? Show in folder. Let's go like this. Oh, I shared it to the stupidest folder ever. Let me go here, and then...
G'day, Pugamus. How are you? It is dark art.
Wonder if I can just drag and drop it. God, look at that technology. All right, dude. We're living in the world of technology.
I really got to
my
get
God.
onto that
I'm
technology.
so excited. Look at this.
It's
look at
cooked as well.
This is also cooked. I could say this is also cooked. So, all right. Well, I'm saying that if I come to Australia, there's at least 2 pilgrimages we're going to have to make. And one would be to the big prawn and to the big lobster. Larry. This is Larry. Lawrence.
Well, I feel
Lawrence,
this
if
is
you're
the
friendly
first I've heard of Larry, so I'd definitely like to see him as well. But what did you say? Kingston, Southeast
Southeast.
Australia.
I don't know how your guys' addresses work. They're crazy. Oh my God. I don't know where I'm going.
we just generally work on down the road a bit.
Yeah, down the road, right around the barn. It's past the barn. If you see a raven, you've gone too far.
I'm going to write that down so I can investigate where it is exactly. But if we've got to go to Kingston, which is Southeast Australia, we will have to go past the Big Banana.
Oh, there's a big
Coffs Harbour.
banana too? Oh my god.
Big banana, yeah.
We're gonna have to find all of the big stuff while we're
Well, I mean,
down south.
about probably 3.5, 4 hours north of me, there's the big pineapple.
Oh my god.
Um,
They just
I
do
know.
it bigger in Australia, huh?
There's a big cow as well. I can remember going to it as a kid on a caravanning trip or something with my folks.
Right.
And the funny thing about the big cow was it had a staircase that went up into the cow, but I can't remember whether when you went up the staircase, you went in through the chest or through the butt end of the cow,
Mm-hmm.
which I think, you know, if you were really thinking about that kind of thing, surely you'd go in through the butt. But yeah, then you'd rock into this little chamber inside it, and it had like all this history stuff about the cow industry in that area, but I can't remember where that was. But yeah, Australia's renowned for its big things. There's a big merino somewhere down in Victoria. There's more. I know there's more. Back to the tegus as well. Dragonlair was saying that the black and white tegu were the ones that were found, but Alabama banned all species of them, as well as big snakes, I think you said too. Dragonlair. Pardon me. That one nearly shook my hair loose. Oh, Craig Broderick is here. G'day, Craigos. How are you? Funny, I've been staring at the chat, but I just missed that. Oh, Joel G's got a big kiwi fruit in New Zealand. Oh, Craig Broderick says there's a big koala in Victoria. Haven't seen that one either. Yeah, big merino. Where's that at? Oh, big emu as well. GRB's got all the bigs.
The big emu.
Emu. That's one of my funniest pronunciations that Americans do. Emu and Melbourne.
How do you say
Danny
emu?
Can. Emu.
I say emu.
Emu.
Emu?
Yeah.
No, that's goofy.
Yeah, that's Australian.
Say aluminum.
Aluminium.
Yeah, see, that's wrong.
Do you guys even spell it with the extra I?
What, like you just what?
Like at the end of the word, is it N-U-M or N-I-U-M? Big
like
guitar in Tamworth as well. Good to see you, Danny Can. Yeah, do Americans spell it just N-U-M at the end?
I believe so.
Yeah, right.
I don't know. I spelled it into the chat there.
Yeah, yes, just saw that as I asked that question.
Yeah,
But yeah, we spell it N-I-U-M, but you know, we've got all of those other words like colour, rancor,
color.
all these different things where we add extra letters in, but we don't necessarily.
I was listening to New Zealand guys the other day. So the one that stands out to me is when they say dickhead.
Dickhead?
Yeah.
New Zealanders, you mean?
That just makes me laugh, dude. Every time. It's too funny. Hold on, let me get this lobster out.
G'day, Patrick Paulson. How are you?
I can barely
Making
deal with
hungry.
that lobster. It's just too majestic.
Yeah, see, Mriddle's brought up a few of our OUR words that you guys just have as OR words.
Yeah, like
But
labor.
we even, they're ones that I find very odd because we still seem to say them shorter. We say them shorter than Americans do, but ours have more letters in them. That's
What, like
Australian
colour?
logic.
Like color or labor or flavor. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. See, because you guys have that extra emphasis on the R,
Arr.
whereas we just go color, flavor. It's like we've just put an A on the end instead of OUR.
Well, there's like Flava Flav, you know, but that's a different word.
Chattanooga Ed, we don't have big cats, none native.
Ooh, have they found a?
Hang on, I've got dodgy Corvus audio again. He's froze. He's froze
Uh-oh.
again.
Am I frozen?
G'day Muppet, how's it going?
I think it's you.
You're frozen, and I'm only getting little snippets of audio. My computer might finally be on its dying days. Which ones, Mickham? I mean, I'm not sure if we're legally allowed to collect them from the wild and sell them without a permit or something. One sec, get over there. Try this again.
Yeah, I reloaded.
Yeah, didn't seem to help.
I just went for the gusto and reloaded, you know.
Haven't any.
Oh, Peplin says it's you.
Crikey, am I going to have to restart again?
You might have to.
Yeah, I think it is me.
What is
I
going
don't
on
want to
with
have to
your
restart
connection
the whole
today, dude?
computer again. Let me just try refresh again. I'll do that.
All right.
Maybe it's the temperature. Maybe it just isn't really not enjoying working in warmth. I'm going to reload my page and see if that helps.
It's got to be
Apologies
hot
again,
down there.
people, for
I'm
this
telling you.
absolute unprofessionalism.
The total, the self-appointed lack of professionalism. I think old Dr. Black there is having technical issues today related to the humid, hot, and the moist heat temperatures he's dealing with down under. You know. Excuse me, I'm still getting over this cough. I got a little bit of a cough, you know. But yeah, I think he's just down there dealing with the nonsense. Mickey's, are the Australian rainbow fishes available for you to buy collect? Huh. I would guess that they're available in Australia, but maybe not in his area. We'll have to get to the bottom of that. That's a quality question to see if things are actually available in Australia yet or not. Excuse me. Perfect timing for me to have that schmegma there. Mickey says, I was thinking if they're protected by law. Well, one of the things that I would say typically with like rainbow fish, it should be fairly easy to collect their eggs, even if they are endangered. You might not be able to collect the fish, and honestly, you might not be able to disturb them either, but you should be able to collect and distribute the eggs pretty well, because I know that I have to think of his name. What's the American that does all the rainbow fish? I've met him numerous times. I can't remember his name right now. I'm drawing a blank. It's very late for me right now, and I can't remember his name. But he ships out eggs so much that it's got to be Gary Lang. Yeah, the Gary Lang guy. There we go. Thanks, guys. You got my back. Yeah, I mean, he ships out so many of the eggs that I would say chances are, like, if there's probably somebody in Australia that could probably get a hold of the eggs, and ship those out would be my guess. If I had to wager a guess, that you could probably at least get the eggs in Australia. Maybe you couldn't be able to get live fish, but you could definitely probably get the eggs, would be my guess. Because I know that, like, in Australia, it's a lot easier to get a lot of stuff from Papua New Guinea and stuff like that. That like northern area up there, it's kind of easier, but a lot of things are protected up there because of all the weird mining stuff that's been going on. I know that what group was somebody was working on a really cool documentary of like the last river up there, and I can't remember what the name. I always like I feel like I should have been refreshed on stuff, but normally like we just talk about Star Wars and stuff whenever I come on. We just talk about whatever's going on. So let's see. Protected river in Australia. I think there was a really cool documentary. Let's see if I can't documentary. Documentary. There we go. Protected rivers in Australia. Well, that's on Vimeo. That's Nat Geo. I think it was like more independent than Nat Geo. Oh, here it is. Rivers of Australia on IMDb. So I think if you look that up, yeah, James Livingston, that guy. They went out there and did some really cool documenting on that. Rivers of Australia, a journey along the Murray. Yeah, I think that's what it was. Can't be 100% sure. Where'd my chat go? I lost my chat. I went to go look up stuff. Oh, I have two of them open. Well, we'll close one and hope one's correct. I'm going to mute my mic because I'm going to cough again. Too much drywall dust. It's making me cough. Let's see. Mickey says, an American killifish nerd traveling Europe. Have been visiting auctions for many years and bidding for all American killies. Yeah, American. There are a lot of fish in America that are protected from collecting for resale and stuff like that. And some people actually are just spawning them in tanks from a long time ago, kind of before they were protected. And oftentimes you can kind of get a spawn from them, and that can be cool as long as it's kind of documented. But, you know, I always, whenever going out collecting, I always tell people to check ahead of time whether or not you could run the risk of getting in trouble. Because you never really know like the extent of the trouble that you could accidentally be getting into. I think a good example of the opposite of that, of not getting in trouble, is like, so when Chris Lukup was in town, we went to go document some of the crayfish and stuff. And we kind of double checked with because we went to Oregon for that, to check out those crayfish and whatnot. And we double checked before we went, like, are these protected? Are these streams, are we allowed to kind of, run around in these streams and stuff? And it was totally cool. So they were totally fine with it, and it wasn't a problem. Because, like, I think most of those had, like, we drove to most of those. So it was like, these already have bridges over them and stuff like that. So kind of people messing around in those streams pretty often. And there was a lot of evidence of people, doing, barbecues and hanging out on the beach of the stream during the summer months. So let's see what we got here. Some people do collect the Australian native fishes and keep in fish tanks. Fines may apply if caught, although people use them as bait fish too. So the laws are cloudy. Yeah, I think, I forget what turtle was it? It was a turtle that had all this intrigue behind it, that you weren't allowed to sell it, but you were allowed to have it and you were allowed to breed it, but you couldn't sell the turtle. So you could actually give them to other people, but there couldn't be any documentation of you having sold them, and you couldn't have sold them to anybody. So I think that's kind of a weird example of, something that is protected, but it's only protected by the commerce side of it, like Myrdal saying the mini musk turtles. Yeah, I was gonna say I thought it was the fly river turtle, but I think you could just buy fly river turtles. But the mini musks, yeah, you can have them. You could breed them and you could give them away, but you couldn't sell them. So they're only kind of protected by the commerce side of things. And I think that was related to them being a choking hazard or something like that. It had to do with like children choking potentially on a turtle, which is kind of a bizarre reason for any legislation to get passed. But yeah, it's kind of a wild thing. Myrdal says fly river turtles you can keep with proper documentation. Yeah, I wouldn't say that I'm much of an expert on the ins and outs of buying or selling turtles. I just kept them a bunch when I was a young guy. When I was a young tyke, from like when I was like 3 till probably 12 or 13 or something like that. So probably about 10 years I had these turtles, for a long time. I had like a really big one, which I should probably document what the hell it was. And then I had a couple of box turtles. They were pretty cool. I don't know what the big one was, though. To this day, I still don't know. I probably should go look it up. I should have brought some water down here with me or something like that. I didn't expect to be doing a show by myself, so I didn't like bring refreshment. I should have brought some like ice water with me because I got this like tickle going on. I see Danikin. What's up, Danikin? Good to see you. I got to pick my son up from work really quick. Oh, Big D Smoke got to pick his son up. That means he's got to go all the way to Fred Meyer's. I believe it's Fred Meyer's. I might be right. I might be wrong. Dragon Lair says, nope, Joel, it was a salmonella scare that caused the size limit on turtles. Oh, was it the salmonella thing? I thought it was the choking hazard. But maybe it was salmonella scare. Yeah, I don't know.
Either way, don't eat your
Salmonella
turtle.
sucks. Trust me, as a guy who was a chef for a really long time, you don't want to get salmonella. And, one of the biggest issues with salmonella is monumental diarrhea, which is the number 3 killer, I believe. The last time I checked the top reasons for dying in the world. What is that? Let's see. Highest.
G'day, Moonstone. Sorry, I did a restart again. That's why I was delayed. It's just terrible technology sending me sideways.
Oh man, diarrhea has dropped from number 3 all the way to 5. Whoa, look at that. We're making a comeback because we're cutting off the salmonella and we're just lowering the rate of diarrhea, which is good.
Diarrhea needs to put a new record out to go back up the charts.
We got to get that diarrhea back up the charts. I hope not. Let's not do that. Yeah. Anyhow. All right, you're back, man. Look at that. So it does have to do with you restarting your computer where you come back to full glory.
Yeah, it's odd, isn't it?
Yeah. Wonder what that could be. What is that about?
I'm normally the that guy who suggests to everyone that they restart their modem and all of that kind of stuff before they do a live stream. And yeah, it's probably been a good week or more since I've restarted my modem. So potentially I should take my own advice on more occasions. But yeah, who knows? If it's like you said, does seem to be that the restarting the computer certainly has an effect. But yeah, it still confuses me.
Right.
That Raven's still hanging around too. He is so shiny and glossy.
So with all this intrigue with your modem and your laptop computer and your interconnectivity, we have failed to do our Star Wars update.
Indeed.
Are you up to speed?
Most definitely am. You know I'm up to speed.
Okay. How do we feel? What's our consensus with the most recent of episodes?
Standard spoiler alert, people. We do talk about the Mandalorian, and we go into great detail. So if you've not seen the last episode, you will probably get some spoilers, especially where I'm going to start.
Oh, that's right. We got to do the spoiler alert thing.
But realistically, the show came out, 5 days ago?
Yeah, it's 5 days ago. If you haven't watched it yet.
If you haven't watched it by this stage, I don't think spoilers are a drastic part of your lifestyle that you worry about.
It's probably not.
When the Razor Crest was destroyed.
Yeah, it wasn't even like broken.
No, it was vaporized. It was turned to dust, except for a few key
a few indestructible items.
Bits. Yeah. But when that happened, I did an audible gasp. I actually went.
Did you?
Yeah. That really surprised me. You know, that was one of the main characters of the show, that ship. And it's like, it's been through so much hell, and it's been, duct taped back together so many times.
Right.
They really, really made sure that
I have to admit some I have to admit probably to some fault. I haven't been really attached to that ship. It's probably something wrong with it.
But look, now that
I would say that Din Djarin, like, he doesn't even seem attached to the ship. He leaves the doors open every time he lands somewhere.
Oh, but did you not read his body language when he was going through the rubble? He was devastated. He was very
depressed.
Yeah. But I see what you're saying about his. I
think it creates some interesting. I think it creates some interesting possibilities with Boba and the Slave One. Even though in the canon, like, not Boba, but his dad with
Django.
It was either Django or Jaster Marine that got Slave One, and I think it was Django, and they destroyed the factory where they were being made, right? I think Slave One is like the only one of that ship, right?
I believe so, yes.
I think so. I think he like stole that ship and then blew up where they were making them, I think.
Right.
I believe. I could be mistaken by that, but I think that's what happened in the storyline.
I'm not familiar with that part of the canon.
And so I think he basically has the only Slave One at the time. I mean, that doesn't mean that other ones weren't made after, but at the time he had like the only one. It's obviously been a long time.
Certainly been other versions of that ship in Clone Wars. I think one popped up.
Right.
There was also a bounty hunter ship.
Right.
Oh, hang on. That might have actually been Slave One, because it might not have been in Clone Wars. It might have been in the show, what was it, Rebels, I think, where they had Boba Fett's gang when Boba Fett was just like a 10-year-old kid. So that was probably...
Boba got Slave One when he was a kid, right?
Yeah. I think I've got my wires crossed, and I think that was
when Django was killed by Mace Windu, right? The Boba got Slave One then, I believe, right? I think that's how it went down.
That would make sense.
And I think he was flying around, and then he was like the little tyke that was like doing gangster stuff, trying to take out the Jedi,
Yeah.
basically. But
Yeah, he had a big grudge against Mace Windu.
I still think this leads to Mace Windu showing up. I think that's what's going to happen. I think Mace Windu is going to be the guy who responds to Grogu meditating on the stone, right? I think Mace Windu is going to show up.
Yeah, I had not
He's
actually
gonna battle.
considered him.
So I'm calling it right now. Okay, here's my prediction: Mace Windu shows up. Boba Fett is going to start to battle him. There's going to be some kind of crazy battle for a while. And one of two things happens. Either Boba decides to explain what has happened over the last amount of time, where he's sort of been in exile, right? And he just decides to stop fighting and not fight or whatever. Because he's been like meditating for 5 years or something. I don't know. He's been in the Sarlacc pit, and then he's apparently just wandered around after that. And then, I mean, apparently he just wandered around without his armor, even though he knew that the sheriff had his armor, apparently, and never went to go take it.
Well, we still really don't know. We don't know how long he was in the Sarlacc for.
Well, we know he was in there for some period of time.
Long enough for the digestive juices to remove his eyebrows.
Yeah, I mean, he looks he looks like he's from the 80s now. He shaved his eyebrows off. He's got a whole different thing going on. He does look a little bit. He's got a little bit of a gut on him now, though.
That took no time at all for those memes to start coming out.
He's got a strong midriff there.
Yeah, it's
he's definitely he's gone from bodybuilder physique to I would say he looks like an iron worker. At this point, he's got that strong. He's got that power gut for welding and lifting heavy metal works.
Yeah, retired tight end.
Yeah.
Hey, I did an American football reference. Yay.
Yeah, it was good.
Yay, me.
I like it. Very accurate, actually.
Yeah, no, it was quite funny because when we saw Cobb Vanth wearing the armor, it looked a little bit silly on him because he was such a skinny little dude, and then it goes on to Boba, and it's like, it'd be a little bit odd seeing these two vastly different shaped humans squeezed into the same armor set. But anyway, back to your theory of what's going to happen.
So my theory is that Mace Windu is going to come to train Grogu, right? He's going to be Mace Windu. He's going to be all screwed up. He's going to have fallen out the window. He's going to have gone out into exile. He's going to only have come back because of the signal from the stone, right? He's going to battle Boba. My idea is that they kind of come to a standoff situation. And then Boba decides he's just going to go full retirement. He's just going to be like that, or he's just going to have decided to give up his bloodlust, which seems to be there's going to be some kind of redemption arc where he just becomes like somebody's grandpa or whatever, but that's some kind of interaction with Mace Windu coming. That's my
well, I think I might have even said last week that I had absolutely no consideration for Mace Windu because I'd always assumed him dead. And as soon as you brought that up, my theory, especially now knowing that the Razor Crest is done for, is that Mace will come, will battle Boba Fett, Mace will kill Boba Fett, and the Mandalorian will kill Mace Windu and inherit the Slave One. Maybe.
Yeah, I mean, I think it'll be more friendly than that, because I think they'll have to be more of a. I think they'll have to be a bigger send off than just them battle and die. Because I think Mace Windu's big thing will be he will he'll be able to show off that he learned the transition to the Force, where when you die you turn into a Force ghost.
If you've
Like,
learned
he'll
that.
What's that?
If you've learned it, you've got to learn that skill.
Yeah, he should have learned that from Yoda, though.
Hope so.
I mean, he was Yoda's like second right-hand man. Like, he would have been, like, Mace Windu's character would have been the leader of the Jedis if it wasn't for Yoda. Yoda was like the only guy who was more powerful.
Yeah.
And it doesn't seem like Yoda's the selfish one. You know what I mean? Like, no, I'll just not teach anybody nothing. Like, that was his whole life thing, was teaching people stuff, right?
Yeah. All in all, I thought it was a pretty fantastic episode. Some of the seeing Boba Fett fighting and destroying stormtroopers was very impressive scenery.
Well, it was definitely good
Crikey,
to.
he went to town with that Sand People stick. I know they've got a proper name.
Yeah. Definitely glad to see him like get some redemption. You know
Damn
what I mean?
it. I'm losing again. Fuck.
Oh man, you're always like you're just freeze framing now. That's your new thing.
Yeah. What is my situation? It's terrible. Anyway, yeah, great episode of The Mandalorian. It's very good. Only 2 episodes to go in the season. Definitely get into it, people.
Mm-hmm.
I'm rushing through our bloody Star Wars chat now because I fear that my technology is going to fail me for the rest of this live stream. Also, watch your mum's house live shows. Very filthy and disgusting. I love it. Myself and my lovely Sarah did a I hope I'm coming through clear enough, people, while I'm promoting stuff. We watched the Your Mum's House Live #3 last weekend. Oh my God, I don't know if I've ever seen so much vile stuff in one 3-hour period of televisual viewing, but it was great. It was great. Also, another Australian thing that's getting plugged heavily in the States is Auntie Donna's Big Ol' House of Fun.
Mm-hmm.
Have you heard of it?
I have.
Have you watched it?
It's possible.
It's pretty bloody zany. It's well out there. It's very crazy comedy. It's right up there with Monty Python level silliness and nonsense. And full credit to Scott Aukerman, the legend, the man himself, and Ed Helms as well for getting behind these Australian guys and getting that show out there. If you haven't seen it, it's on Netflix. Auntie Donna's Big Old House of Fun. Mm-hmm. Australian trio of comedians, very funny boys. They do a podcast as well, which is quite funny. Get amongst that. I wanted to really get those plugs out of the way. Your Mum's House live shows only cost me, like, it was $14 to watch it, $10.63, I think, American. Interesting price tag, $10.63.
Well, old Tommy Buns there, he's got to throw a weird price out there for you.
Do you reckon that was his motivation, or do you reckon he's gone, we sold this many last time, let's make it this price so we do this much money? No, actually, because the previous 2 were $10.63 as well, weren't they?
I don't know. It's some kind of inside joke from Your Mom's House that I don't understand. Or it's just like, that's the maybe the 63 cents is the like financing fee or something, processing fee. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, I know they've got the 2365 was it's one of their numbers. It's on that hat that's on the dog behind Tommy Buns every show.
Yeah.
But yeah, their regular shows are pretty cool, but if you watch them on the YouTube, you don't often see the videos that they're playing.
Yeah.
But when they do those live shows.
Here's the thing, like, I love Tom Segura. I don't like Bert Kreischer.
Yeah, he's a bit hard to take.
I mean, it's not that, like, I dislike him or whatever. It's he puts up, like, way too much content, and all of his jokes are kind of like, yeah, all right, yeah, it's funny, but why didn't you finish writing it? You know what I mean? Like, why didn't you make it a more complicated premise? Like, I get where this was going, all the time. Anyhow, not to make fun of Bert Kreischer, but I love Tom Segura.
I'm sure
I love Christina P. I think, like, the weird thing is like, I feel like they've gone a bit off the rails. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? Like, when you really like a rock band and then they kind of do too much, they start doing, like, they party too much. They go a little too, and there's, like, too much fire on the stage. And it's like, maybe you should have just written better songs. Like, I don't know. I'm that's just kind of where I'm at right now. Like, I love Your Mom's House. Like, I used to listen to it, like, all the time. I don't listen to it as much anymore because I feel like they're just, it's just, at this point, it's like, we're just shocking to be shocking, and it's like, well, okay, like, it's butt plugs or whatever, you know what I mean? Like, I get it. Like, I'm not tuning in to watch porno, like,
Well, there's a fair bit of that kind of stuff on the live show. So I've only been watching / listening to their stuff for about probably a year, 18 months.
Oh, okay.
But even I'm noticing that there's, like, when they get a good clip that they get some sound bites and stuff on, they certainly labor that gear. They redo it over and over again, keep coming back to it. New guest comes in, we better show them this video.
Yeah.
And that even
my car again.
that
like, yeah,
that
man,
even
we've
happened
seen internet memes, like
on the live shows as well. They even, like, they play some of their videos that they've played for months and months and months. But I think mainly that is because that most of the time on the YouTube they get they can't show those videos, so here's an opportunity to get those videos out there.
I think a big process of it is that I think a big process of it that's missing right now is that they're not doing live shows. I mean, I think Tom Segura is a tiny bit or something, or like,
no, I don't think he's not even been out there and done any stand up,
any of that stuff. Like, well, it's like Bert Kreischer's doing drive-ins, the drive-ins outside, and then Dave Chappelle's doing everything outside and that kind of stuff, and that's great. But I think what happens is like, you're able to go out and do a bunch of those live shows and, like, blow off some of that steam and try out some of the jokes. And right now they're doing all of that.
It's all
on their
channeled
show.
into the show. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like everything is just being smashed into the show. And it's like, the repetition makes sense when you have a different crowd coming in every hour to do another show. Like, if you're doing 3 different shows in the same night, you're going to do the same set. And by the time you do it those first 3 times on Friday, and then the second 2 times on Saturday, you've done the same thing 5 times. By the time you've done it the 5th time, it's way better than the first time.
Yeah, well polished.
You've cut out all the stupid crap that wasn't supposed to be in there, and I think there's a lot of pressure on them to be, like, you got to be hitting because there's so many people watching their show now, right?
Yeah.
And it's like they've got producers they got to pay, they've got production guys they got to pay, and I think that's contributing to my sort of like, yeah, I'm sort of over it, And I think, for me, like Joe Rogan's sort of the same thing. Like, it's great to hear the guests that come on to Joe Rogan, like if they are intriguing guests to me. And it's intriguing in the fact that like he has people come on and he never pushes back on the people that come on. Right?
What do you mean?
He has people that come on there and he never like questions the stuff that they're talking about. He's sort of just like, yeah, okay. Yeah, all right, bro. Okay. And he just like falls off the deep end. Like he just falls right off into like either conspiracy land or, well, you're a doctor, so you must be legit, even though it's like they got their degree at like Phoenix University online, like you're like, well, we got to question some of this stuff when these people are talking about like we did a study, and the study was actually 7 people, you're like maybe you shouldn't be taking 10 times the amount of vitamin D because some buddy came on to Joe Rogan and said that you should, it's like maybe we should look into this a little bit, so there are issues that I encounter in that sphere because it's like Tom Segura basically got his big break from Joe Rogan, more or less. It's hard to say where any of that stuff came from, but you get
that also
promoted by
goes
Joe Rogan, you're gonna take off. It's just it's basically how it's gonna happen.
That goes. I'll see you, Moonstone. Thanks for popping in. That also goes back to Bert as well. I think like someone mentioned just before about, I think it was S mentioning his machine bit. Back in those days, he was putting some pretty good effort into his comedy, but then I think the same thing happened to Bert, was that he fell in with Rogan and Segura and those fellas, and he was becoming more known to a lot more people.
Right.
So yeah, I think his effort that he was putting in sort of slacked off a bit. And he's going to ride the machine story for the rest of his life. He still tells it. He doesn't like to tell it anymore, but he still gets asked for it.
Right.
So yeah, I think, like you say, it's certainly an industry where if you get a good solid in, you're going to get a lot of a bigger fan base, but you've still got to work to maintain that stuff. And I do agree that Bert's comedy has gone downhill a little bit. Some of his conversational stuff, like when he does his podcast with Bill Burr and he does his one with Tom, when Tom gets a chance to talk, often those ones are good, but when Bert takes over and spends the whole podcast talking, they can be a wee bit tedious. But yeah, Joe Rogan's done great things for so many comedians just for putting him on his podcast.
Well, that's and I watched, I mean, it's like Bert Kreischer is on way too much stuff now. It's like they do the 2 Bears, 1 Cave. He does the podcast with Bill Burr.
Bill Burt podcast.
He goes on and does his own, the Burtcast. He's also doing stand-up drive-in shows. He's doing Instagram stuff constantly. He's doing all this stuff. I mean, I don't know. It's just, I think there's a saturation point where it's just like, dude, I don't want to hear from this person. Like, what the hell, man? Yeah, he's like funny in small increments, but I don't need to listen. That's not a guy I need to listen to for like 3 hours straight about where he's just like, my butt, and you're like, yeah, all right, man, that's pretty funny.
Yeah,
but
good.
I guess you're drunk again. That's good. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. GRB. Someone mentioned young ones before.
Yeah, the young ones.
Do you know the young ones?
Yeah, oh yeah.
But someone said it was a MTV show. Is that where it first appeared in the States on MTV?
The young ones? No, the young ones was like BBC.
Yeah, that's what I thought. But I'm sure I saw in the comments someone mentioning, Terry, Anyone old enough to remember the first MTV comedies called The Young Ones? Maybe MTV was the conduit for it into the States. But yeah, BBC show. Fantastic show too. If you can find yourself some VHS tapes of that show to watch, get into it. It was brilliant, brilliant comedy.
So if maybe he's mixed up The Young Ones with The State, which The State was like Michael Ian Black, Michael Showalter, all the guys from Reno 911. So maybe he was talking about The State, but yeah, The Young Ones was that was a BBC show, and I loved it. I thought that was a great show, along with like Red Dwarf. Like Mr. Bean's kind of like an acquired taste, but it's kind of a shorts, like Blackadder, all that
stuff.
Yeah. I mean,
yeah, all the 4 different Blackadders were fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Different eras. I like the way they did that and moved all the same characters through different periods in history.
Yeah.
Very good show.
And
launched quite a few careers too.
Yeah, if you haven't seen The State, if you can find the episodes of The State, they're quite good. And there's a lot of people in there that you'd be like, oh my God, that's the young version of that guy. Like, oh man, that's when he was little. But a lot of those sketches are hilarious to this day.
Is it a sketch show, The State? Because I've not heard of it.
Yeah, it's a sketch show. Yeah, I mean it's pretty funny. It's all these little sketches, and a lot of the people on there you recognize that are established comedic actors now. Like you might not know their name, but you're like, hey, that's that guy. Oh, that's that guy. Oh, that's that gal.
Thomas Lennon, Carlos Arizalaki, Ben, what's his name?
Yeah, Ben. Oh God, what's his name? See, I've met Michael Ian Black. I met Michael Showalter. I met. Hold on, I'm gonna look this up. I'm gonna look up who else.
When did you meet Michael Ian Black?
He came to Seattle to do stand-up shows. They used to come through town. They used to come through town to do stand-up, and back then, like, people that weren't people like, I don't know how much it is now. I don't know what it's like now, but if you have somebody who's like coming through to do a comedy show, chances are you're going to get to meet them. Like if you go to the show, you'll probably end up meeting them because they'll typically like be hanging around. Like they don't have like other stuff to go do. And more often than not, most comedians are at least nice enough to be like, oh yeah, hey, what's up, dude? Like, how's it going? And,
I finished my show and we've got to both drink at the same bar now, so I might as well shake some hands.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I always found him interesting primarily because of his name.
Yeah,
because he's Michael Black.
Yeah,
with an Ian in the middle.
He's got an Ian in the middle, unlike you. I don't want to know your middle name. I don't want to dox you, dude.
But yeah, they'll all be after me. It's Leslie.
Yeah, Robert Ben Garrett. That's his name, Ben Garrett.
Oh, yeah, that's right. He had another one in front. He's got 2 first names. He's so greedy.
Joe Latrulio, he came to town. We met him at one of the shows too.
G'day, Jay and Nola Jane. How are yous?
Yeah, the thing is, like back in the day, most of the venues that those shows would be at too. Like I knew a lot of the people that worked at those venues. So it was like, I knew the bartender, I knew the door guys, I knew all the people that worked there, so it was like, if there was a show, most likely you get to meet somebody,
Yeah.
to some degree.
And Terry's Tropical Tanks has come through saying that it was indeed a show that was released in the States on MTV.
Oh, it was
1985.
Oh, wow.
I would speculate that potentially it might have been somewhere in the States prior to 1985.
That's possible. I remember watching on PBS in my part of the world.
And S asked if you had watched The Boys. We've spoken about The Boys before, haven't we?
Very good. Very good. Very good show. Very well done.
Do you reckon they're coming out with a new season of that? Any news on that?
Can't imagine why they wouldn't be making one.
Indeed.
It seems to be a really big hit. I don't think another season's going to come out until, probably the end of 2021 at the soonest would be my guess.
Yeah, well, they smashed the first two out in pretty quick succession. So I think they'll let people sit on them for a little while and then bring it out when people are just egging for it. Yeah, even what's his name? God, it's been so long since I've watched The Boys. The main Superman type dude.
Here we go. The Boys season 3 is a little while off, but a surprising amount has already been teased about the return of the Amazon Prime Video series. Not only do we have some super new additions to the cast, the creator has spoken about everything from guest stars to how the real world will affect the show's plot. Yeah, so it sounds like they're definitely making season 3. Show creator Eric Kripke has been open about all being well. An early 2021 start date for filming. He told Collider that January 2021 was earmarked as a starting point. So it sounds like they're going to start filming in sometime January or February 2021. So soonish, or maybe they already started. I don't know. This is from November 3rd. So it sounds like they're definitely going to do season 3. It's already written and they're going to start filming it. So it will come out. Who knows when though. So it seems like most of the digital release stuff seems to be fairly ironed out. Like as far as the stuff that's being produced by, say, Netflix or Amazon or Disney. I think Disney's still working out some of the kinks, but I think it looks like Netflix and Amazon sort of have like, they've
got the process down.
Yeah, they have it like dialed down to whether or not they're going to do another season or not, or it sounds like they have their shooting schedules figured out, their budgets, that kind of stuff, like what they're willing to spend, what they aren't. I think what's going to be weird is the movie thing is going to be the weird thing. Like if you're talking about like Universal Studios is going to make some big movie, whether or not they can get away with the digital release. And I think we're going to find out with Wonder Woman. So Wonder Woman comes out Christmas, and that's being released on HBO Max, which I have regular HBO. So I'm like, do I really like sign up for a different thing to watch Wonder Woman? I don't know.
Is that what they're banking on though? If they bring such a major motion picture to a streaming service,
well, they got to see if they can. They have to see if they can do it or not. And it sounds to me like Wonder Woman is their test.
Yeah.
Because that's literally that's literally like a big giant movie that was made to go into theaters, and that was the only place that it was ever intended to be.
Yeah, but it's also
if they can sort of make the digital release work, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, well, if they can make the digital release work, then they'll probably do it. But if it doesn't work, they're back to the drawing board.
Are you
Yeah.
being served? Dragon Lair, I believe, is the one you're thinking of. And Homelander is the guy. Anthony
Yeah.
Starr. Oh, is he Anthony Starr or Anthony Starr? Either
Yeah, I
way,
don't know.
he makes an appearance in Auntie Donna's Big Old House of Fun. I like a good segue. And someone mentioned Coupling as well as a BBC show. That was quite funny.
Yeah.
And the Mighty Boosh as well. If you're going to go
Yeah, for
British
sure.
comedy, you can't not mention the Mighty Boosh.
That's classic.
Such classic. And on a lighter note as well, the what was it called? Noel Fielding's Luxury Comedy. It was the show that Noel Fielding from the Mighty Boosh went on to do solo after Julian from the Mighty Boosh wanted to do more theatre stuff. Very bizarre and outre.
Oh my God, I got 9:15 here. All right. I gotta go.
Well, let's call it quits then. Black Books was okay. I never what was the main guy in Black Books? The real dour comedian. I just never liked him that much. Bill
don't know.
Bailey's always funny, but
I don't think I ever
the
saw
main
Black
guy.
Books.
It was set in a bookstore. It was quite funny, but it's no IT Crowd or Mighty Boosh.
Mm-hmm. IT Crowd is hilarious.
Very good television, and the Jen, gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah. Agreed. All right, buddy.
So yeah, I'm kind of a little bit miffed that technology got in our way and we didn't get to ramble on about the Mandalorian for an hour and a half. But
We'll
we
come
threw
back.
we threw a bit of extra stuff in there for everyone instead of just Star Wars talk. We've got to keep everyone entertained.
That's right.
So yeah, thanks everyone for hanging out. Let's go. Call it a day. Call it quits.
Appreciate
It's 4:15 in the afternoon here, which means it's probably 9:15 in Joel's neighbourhood.
Yep.
10,
It's 9:15.
9:15.
Yesterday
I do.
evening.
I do maths.
What's strong with the maths?
Oh, I wish I was. I'd just like to muff my way through it.
I appreciate it. All right, buddy. We'll talk to you soon.
All right. Thanks,
Bye-bye.
man. Take it easy. And everyone else. Well, there we go. Riddle Singh says Lazarus is live in about 20 minutes. So, I don't know which channel he's doing it on because foolishly the lad has created 2 different YouTube channels. So, do you know, Riddle, which channel Lazarus is doing his stream on? If we know that, we can promote it and send people along to it to watch his second channel. I cannot remember what that's called, but I'm sure if you go to Lazarus, the Fish Boys channel, he's probably got a link. There we go. Thanks, Riddle. Laz's Fish Fantasy. Head along and check out his live stream. He probably won't talk about Star Wars and television. Terry's Tropical Tanks. I think we do. Someone that has triggered a memory, Terry, that I believe there is a river somewhere in Australia that has feral tiger barbs. But certainly not a native fish to here. But I'm sure there is a river somewhere that is having problems with massive amounts of tiger barbs. Might have to look into that. Anyway, thanks heaps for hanging out, everyone. Take it easy. Enjoy the rest of your week. Don't forget to watch The Mandalorian on Friday night or Saturday morning, depending on where you are on the planet. Aquamate has a premiere on his channel in an hour. If you're still awake, go and watch that, because as is generally the case with Aquamate premieres, they do successfully put you to sleep. Hey, like that? That's some serious promo right there. No, you did good, GRB. You did good. But yeah, go and watch a little bit of Laz. Give him a tickle on the chin with the backside of your hand. Then go and jump on to Aquamate's premiere and have a little bit of a chat. I'll pencil that one into my diary and go and have a look. Hopefully I've got notifications on for Aquamate's channel. You know I do. All right, everyone. Thanks heaps. Have a good week and a weekend. And look after yourselves. See you soon. Stay home, stay safe, and stay bored.